What is up? Week 2 is here. Welcome to the dead zone, baby. We are ready. And we're going to do the same thing we did last week. We're going to just jump in some of these underdog weekly drafts, draft a few teams. Last week, not go very well. Drafted, there's one team in particular I drafted. I believe it had T. Higgins, 0. Dallas Goedert, 0. It was pretty ugly. And that was one of the teams that I felt the best about. After I finished the draft, I think we did 4 drafts on the live stream. I felt the best about that draft. It did not go well at all. I'm just sending out the link to the YouTube stream. But I'm hoping we have some better luck. This week. Because it didn't go very well in week 1. But we learned a lot. In week 1. I mean, this was the first time I even did any of these drafts. This is a fantastic thing that Underdog has. All right, just sending this link out to Twitter. All right. So, looks like the tournament that we did last week, which was just a $5 6-team, it's not there anymore for this week. It must be full for week 2. So we're just going to do this little mini $3 draft. Hopefully it fills quick enough so that we're not just sitting here waiting for it to fill up. And hey, jump in here. We're waiting. We got 4 openings in this draft. Just jump on Underdog, download the Underdog Fantasy app. Make sure you use promo code YARDSPER. And you're going to get your $100 deposit match from Underdog plus a free mystery pick'em. How could you pass that up? Just use promo code YARDSPER and you're going to get that. So we're waiting on 4 people. Jump in here. It's just a little mini $3 6-team draft. And we're going to see if we can crush some teams for week 2. Build some great lineups. The fun thing about these is my favorite part of fantasy football is draft season. I love drafting teams, and that's what Underdog is so great for. I can draft 7 teams at one time, if I want to, more if I want to. With these slow drafts, I usually have 7, 8, 9, 10 drafts going all in one time. They're all slow drafts, but during the summer, I mean, peak draft season, I'm in double-digit drafts at one time. But then you get to the season and drafting is over. You're done. However, Underdog allows us to keep drafting. And if you like playing DFS, you get a little bit of feel of DFS with these weekly drafts because you're still going to take some DFS elements and put them into these drafts. Stacking, run backs. We've got to use those types of strategies. We've got to have a DFS mindset when we're drafting these teams. We're still waiting on 4 people, so jump in here. UnderdogFantasy.com. Download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use promo code YARDSPER. $3 draft. 6 teams. We got 4 openings still. I don't know why nobody's drafting these teams. I think because we're in the little $3 one. They're all in the big tournaments where you're winning big prize money. I don't like, I mean, if we're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5 drafts tonight, I don't know how many we're going to get through. My goal is to just do 2. Just get in, get out. But usually I'm having too much fun and I keep going. So we'll see. But I don't want to spend, all that money, doing a bunch of drafts. To be honest with you, I'm kind of cheap. So trying to do these $3 drafts. So because I'm really just doing it for the fun. I'm not doing it for the big money. But hey, there's a lot of prize money out there in some of these underdog tournaments if that's what you want to draft for. And also brand new on Underdog. I believe the start this week. They're giving away $100,000 this week. $100,000. That's 10 people are getting $10,000. So there's 10 people who can win it. So it works by you get one ticket per week. It's a pick'em entry. Here we go. Draft is full. That's great. And you don't even need to win. Hey, look, we got the 101. You don't even need to win your entry, your pick'em entry, to qualify for a $10,000 prize. So take advantage of that. You just go to Underdog Fantasy. You'll see it right in the pick'em section. It's right at the top. It's all in green, $100,000. It's a pick'em for Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe after this draft, we'll pull it up and maybe we'll play it. So we're drafting the 101 here. I'm thinking we're gonna go. We're gonna go Travis Kelce, the 101. What do you guys think? A little bit different here. But Travis Kelce 101. He's back this week, and you know the way things went last week with their wide receivers. They are going to lean on Travis Kelce in this game, going against the Jaguars. Rematch of last year's divisional round. Let's do it. Let's tee up Travis Kelce. Let's celebrate. Travis Kelce's back. We're going to take him with the 101. Let's build this team. Huge positional advantage by taking Travis Kelce at the 101, especially in this little 6-team league like this. Like the drop-off from Kelce to the other tight ends is so big, much bigger than taking like a McCaffrey or a Chase or a Diggs and the drop-off to their next running back, next receiver. So, because Mark Andrews he's still banged up himself as well. Now he's got legit target competition with Zay Flowers. So I think we're hoping to grab that Mahomes stack right off the bat. We'll see if he makes it. We're 5 picks away and he's second on the board. So probably not. So we got to look elsewhere. Obviously Saquon would be cool. But I think Saquon just went. I think if we're going to look at running back, we're going to want to do a run back with Travis Etienne. I think he'd be a great pick with one of our next 2 picks. We're going to pick back to back. So we got to be ready with 2 guys. And if you were here last week, you kind of know that when I get on the clock, those 30 seconds tick really fast. I panic and I make some bad picks sometimes, but we didn't do too bad last week. I think Calvin Ridley would also be a decent run back. And that would allow us to maybe take Trevor Lawrence. No, we're just going to take ETN. All right, we're going to take ETN here. So that's our run back to Kelce. Unfortunately, we did not get Mahomes. So now we got to look at another wide receiver here. And this is where I get myself in trouble. You know what? Let's go Keenan Allen. All right, we got to be faster than that. All right, so yeah, decent start. Not my favorite already. Travis Etienne at running back. Travis Kelce at tight end. Nice little Jaguars Chiefs stack there. Then we got Keenan Allen at a wide receiver. Herbert just went off the board, so we kind of lost opportunity to take Herbert and stack him with Keenan Allen. So we kind of look at our quarterbacks here and kind of make a plan of who we're going to stack. It's too bad. Maybe we should have made Calvin Ridley our Jaguars run back with Travis Etienne, and then we could have gone Trevor Lawrence as our quarterback. But what do you guys think about We could go. I mean, I'm eyeing Anthony Richardson here with Pittman. A little crazy. That's a little crazy. Could also do. We got 4 picks away. We got to figure this out. We could look at Lamar and maybe stack him with, say, Flowers. I don't know if we want to go that deep at wide receiver. Probably not. Joe Burrow. I don't know if T. Higgins is still on the board. He could be. He is. I think we go Higgins. Oh, so much for that. The second I put him in the queue, he got drafted. All right, so let's plan on. We're going to tee up. Oops. Tee up Michael Pittman. Oh, here we are. We're on the clock. We're going to go Michael Pittman, and then I'm going to hope to come back with the next pick, not the 5-1, the 6th round pick. And at that point, we'll take Anthony Richardson as my quarterback. So that means we need another wide receiver because I'd like to have 3 wide receivers. And this, yeah, this guy's just going to be all by him lonesome here. Yeah, this is a tough one. Let's go. Shit, this is where we panic. Let's go. Oh, we already took. Damn it. This is where I'm not good when the clock's ticking. We're gonna go Zay Flowers here. Guess maybe we should have gone and tried to get that Lamar Flowers stack, but that's okay. Not super thrilled with this team so far, but if we can get Anthony Richardson, I think this gives us a little bit of a. Unfortunately, this is not like a big tournament. This is just a little 6-man league all by lonesome. So the differentiating of the lineup isn't as advantageous as it would be in a big tournament, but that's all right. And we really, I think we messed up by not going with Calvin Ridley, attacking Calvin Ridley for one of our wide receiver positions, probably a wide receiver 1. And then we could have taken Trevor Lawrence late in this draft. That would have been really nice. Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley with a run back to Travis Etienne. That would have been beautiful. This lineup's not going to have a ton of correlation like I would have liked to have had, but that's all right. So we'll take Anthony Richardson. He was a QB4 in his NFL debut. 10 points just from rushing production. So all right. So we got Anthony Richardson at quarterback, Travis Etienne at running back, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers at wide receiver, Travis Etienne at tight end. Not my favorite team. Not my favorite team. But I think it's all right. I think it's all right. We can work with it. I think we got a chance. And I think we can draft some better teams here. So let's get back in the lobby. And if you want to join me, jump on Underdog Fantasy right now. Get in it. Download the Underdog Fantasy app, underdogfantasy.com. I'm doing these little mini $3 drafts, 6-person. Jump in here. Looks like this one's full already, so maybe we can get in the next one. But get on Underdog. This shit is so much fun, man. Underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code. $100 deposit match. So it looks like we're going to draft at the 105 here out of 6. So we're going to go 105, and then we're going to come back around the 202. So I think we can get something a little bit better here than we did in the last draft. All right, so I am taking questions on YouTube, youtube.com, on yards per fantasy. So, and we got Kenny. He's asking, to pick 2 in full PPR: Raheem Mostert, Rashad White, Zay Flowers, Drake London, Isaiah Pacheco, Rashid Shaheed, and Puka Nakua. How about Puka Nakua in week 1, man? That was wild. That came out of nowhere. Absolutely out of nowhere. I don't think that he is like this superstar in the making, like a lot of people are making him out to be. So let me we're gonna pick 2 of these guys. I'm gonna go Zay Flowers, and I'm gonna go Rashad White. Zay Flowers and Rashad White. So we got 2 picks away. Go Kelsey again if he's there, and then come right back around and take Mahomes. Get that nice Kelsey Mahomes stack like we were hoping for before, and there he goes at the 103. So that's not happening. Diggs goes at 104. So maybe this is where I think we should go Saquon Barkley here at the 105. And then hope that Calvin Ridley is still there at the 202. Right? And then, like I wanted to do, like we should have probably done in the previous draft, stack Calvin Ridley with Trevor Lawrence. I think that would be beautiful. If Ridley goes here in these next 2 picks and he's not on the board for us, then I think we're looking at maybe we go Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, because there goes Ridley there. Damn. All right. There goes that pipe dream again. All right. So Ridley and Mahomes went off the board. So why don't we go? Let's go Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love me some Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. This guy is going to he's going to have an elite season this year. Elite season. And I think by the end of the year in Dynasty, we're going to be talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown in the same conversation with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I mean, he might be slightly below, but he's going to be right there with them. That's how good of a year I am anticipating from Amon-Ra St. Brown. All right, so we started this draft with Saquon Barkley and Amon-Ra. So now we're going to figure out if we can find some stacks here. So I don't think we're trying to stack that Giants-Cardinals game. So that's going to be our one guy from that game. Great matchup for Barkley. He should eat in that game. But so let's look at that Detroit-Seattle game. So we have some opportunities where we could take DK Metcalf is on the board. And Tyler Lockett should still be on the board, although I know he's a little bruised up. So I think we queue up DK Metcalf. And then remember, we got 2 picks after that. We'll be up again. So we're going to want to go another wide receiver. We took a lot of T. Higgins last week, and obviously that did not work out well. But I'm thinking we run it right back with T. Higgins, because that Baltimore secondary is decimated with injury right now. And T. Higgins, he had a bad game last week, but it wasn't because of him. It was the weather. It was Joe Burrow. He was rusty. He hadn't practiced all damn summer. And the rain was just a mess. And they were trying to get him the football. He had 8 targets in that game. He was number 1 among all wide receivers in the NFL in air yards with 151. He was number 1 in air yards share, 64%, and he was number 4 in air yards, which was 151 yards. And he ended up with 0 receiving yards. So they were trying to get him the ball. They were trying to get him the ball down the field. I'm not worried whatsoever about T. Higgins. I'm buying low on T. Higgins this week. made a trade targets video earlier in the week. Go look for that on the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube channel. And Higgins was one of the guys I was trying to buy low. And really, I talked about let's just go buy all the Bengals low. If your league mates are going to allow us to buy low on Bengals, I'm taking advantage. All right, so now we can look at tight end, and we got to look at quarterback. So I do think Mark Andrews is going to play this week. So maybe we look at him, roll the dice, hope Andrews plays, we take him, and then we stack him with Lamar Jackson. Now, I don't know if that's going to be there. We're still 6 picks away. So that could be a little bit of a pipe dream. But let's cue these guys up just in case. That'll be plan A. Plan B would be Joe Burrow at quarterback, stack him with T. Higgins, and then we could still go Andrews at tight end if he's there. Or we could look at Evan Ingram at tight end against Kansas City. But I'd really like to go after this Bengals-Ravens game if we can. So we're 1 pick away. Andrews and Jackson are still on the board, which is fantastic. So looking at the team that's going to pick between my 2 picks, he already has a quarterback. So Andrews will be our first pick here because we know this guy's not going to be taking a quarterback. So Lamar will be safe as long as he doesn't go with this pick here. And there goes that plan because he just drafted Mark Andrews. All right. So plan B then is to take Lamar off of the queue. And then we're going to go with Evan Ingram as our tight end here. And then that theory of quarterback should hold true, and we can take Joe Burrow with the next pick. And that will give us a nice Bengals-Ravens stack. Not as nice as I had hoped. I guess we don't get the Ravens side of it, unfortunately, because we were hoping to get Andrews and Lamar. Unfortunately, we're not getting that. But at least we get a nice Bengals stack with Burrow and T. Higgins. I'm expecting a big bounce back. Not worried whatsoever about Joe Burrow. Not worried whatsoever about the Bengals offense. They're going to be just fine. I expect that will hold true beginning of this week. They're going to be the same old Bengals. Same old Joe Burrow. Should be a fun game against the Ravens. Terrible, banged up secondary. They are decimated right now. Multiple starters in that secondary are missing this week. So here's our team. Still, it didn't go exactly how we hoped, but for the most part, it went pretty well. Joe Burrow at quarterback. Barkley by himself in that game at running back. Then we got Amon-Ra St. Brown and DK Metcalf. Nice little mini Detroit and Seattle stack there. And then we got T. Higgins to go with Joe Burrow. And then Evan Ingram is also all by himself. Unfortunately, because we missed on the Mark Andrews by 1 damn pick, unfortunately. But, I mean, we can't go wrong with taking a guy in that Jaguars-Chiefs game. We know that's going to be one of the highest scoring games on the slate this week. So I'm happy with that. Let's go back in the lobby. We'll tee up another draft. While we're waiting, we'll get to Sammy. In PPR, we're keeping 2 of these guys. Pittman Jr., Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Kendrick Bourne, Zay Jones, or Chris Olave. When you mean keep, do you mean start or like you're going to drop the rest of these guys off your team? I don't understand that. I'm thinking you mean start one of these guys. Clarify for me if you can. But obviously, definitely going Olave to start this week. And then I think mm, 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 mm. it comes down to Michael Pittman and Garrett Wilson for me. Yeah, so it's a start. All right, that's what I figured. So we're gonna go Chris Olave for sure. Absolutely Chris Olave. Normally I'd be like, yeah, Garrett Wilson's the next guy. Easy, right? But with Zach Wilson at quarterback, that makes that one tough. It does make that one tough. I do believe I still have Garrett Wilson ahead of Michael Pittman in my week 2 rankings. But Michael Pittman, man, he's got a nice matchup. He's got no target competition in that offense. Anthony Richardson played well in week 1, and he was locked in on Michael Pittman in that game. He had, I want to say, was it 11, 10 targets in that game? So he was leaning very heavily towards Michael Pittman. I do have Garrett Wilson ranked a little bit ahead, but I think I might change that because, man, not only is he losing Aaron Rodgers, that's one negative. He's got another negative because not only is losing Aaron Rodgers, now he has to deal with Zach Wilson as his quarterback. And we know that didn't go very well for him last year. And then on top of that, they're playing the Cowboys defense. And you know that Cowboys defense is going to harass the shit out of Zach Wilson. How many times is he going to turn that ball over? How many times is he going to get sacked in that game? The Jets' offensive line did not look very good last week in pass protection. They were opening up some lanes in the run game, but they didn't look great in pass protection. And now they got to go against that Dallas front, Micah Parsons. In the secondary, you get, Trevon Diggs, all those guys. And then Pittman's got a nice little easy matchup against Houston. Now, how much are they going to have to pass the ball against Houston? That would be my concern. But like I said, Pittman, he was fed. He was fed last week. So I think that's where I'm going to go. And I'm going to change my rankings as soon as we end this live stream. I'm going to bump up Michael Pittman. And I'm going to bump down Garrett Wilson a little bit more. Yeah, Pittman had a 28% target share last week. The next closest was Josh Downs with 18%. So there's a 10% difference between those guys. So if I'm starting 2 of those guys, I'm going Olave for sure, and then I'm going to go Pittman, especially if you have the Cowboys defense. Now you don't have 2 guys going against each other. That's the way I would go. I mean, Garrett Wilson's a fine start. He's a talented player. You can't argue against the talent, but so is Michael Pittman. And the concern about Pittman coming into the season was his situation, not his talent. And I think we saw last week, Anthony Richardson's a competent passer. He completed 65% of his passes. That is very rare, very, very respectable in his NFL debut. Great matchup this week. I'm comfortable starting Pittman over Garrett Wilson for this week. Thank you for the question. If anybody else wants some questions answered, jump in. Jump in. We're going to do one more draft here, and then I'm going to get out of here. Jump in here. Underdog Fantasy. Got 2 more spots open. Use our promo code YARDSPER. Get a $100 deposit match and a free mystery pick'em. And then you get to draft these teams. They're so much fun. Addicting. So get in here. All right, so looks like we have the 102 for this draft. I think we could probably do another Joe Burrow stack here instead of T. Higgins this time. I think we can go Jamar Chase at the 102. I think he'll be there at the 102. I think that Ravens Bengals game could score a lot of points. We could also, our first draft that we did, we took Travis Kelce. And then we could, that's the thing is, it's hard to take Kelce and then be able to, at the end of the second round, hope that Patrick Mahomes is still going to be there. Because remember, when we drafted Kelce at the 101 in the first draft we did, Mahomes did not make it back to that 206. And if I take Kelce, I'm really going to want to stack him with with Mahomes. Because I also don't think that Calvin Ridley would make it back, and he would be the guy that I would want to stack. And Kelsey went a 101 anyway. All right, so we're gonna go Jamar Chase. We'll go Jamar Chase, and we'll try to lock in that Joe Burrow stack again, like we did in the last draft. I think that'll be doable. If not, we can also eye Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews as a stack, or Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers as a stack, and just have Jamar Chase be an incredible run back. But either way, we're going to want to grab a Raven to run it back in that game. I think we want to attack the Ravens Bengals game in this draft. All right, so for the second round, I don't think we have to go any of those guys for the second round yet. Probably going to want to look at it for the third round. So we got to figure out who we want to do. I think I really like the idea of ETN going against the Chiefs. Dude was a full-blown bell cow in week 1, which was really awesome to see because there was a lot of people who were concerned about Tank Bigsby eating into Travis Etienne's workload coming into the season. Luckily, I was not one of those people. And luckily, in week 1, I turned out to be correct. So hopefully that'll be the case through the duration of the season. And not only was Travis Etienne on the field for 80% of the snaps, he also saw 5 targets and he caught 5 passes. That's something he did not do at all for the entire 2022 season. I think he had 2 games with 5 targets, never got to 5 receptions. So it's great to see him a lot more involved in that passing game because that's what we were drafting him for last year. That's what he was coming out of college. Not only is he's this explosive runner who can rip off a 50-yard touchdown at any moment. He caught 102 passes in college at Clemson. You do not catch 102 passes in college without elite receiving skills. And he's doing that in the NFL from his college quarterback. So it's wheels up for Travis Etienne. He is absolutely smashing this season and this week. He could score multiple touchdowns in week 2. So we got Travis Etienne there. So now we have one running back, we have one receiver. We can wait on Joe Burrow. We're on the clock again. So we kind of just want to look at another wide receiver here. Unless we want to go Mark Andrews and get him as our but I think the last draft he fell pretty far, so we can wait another round to get him. So I'm looking at Keenan Allen. I'm looking at DK Metcalf. I think that's where I want to go here is Metcalf. That's a much better game environment than what Keenan Allen's going to see this week against the Titans. Even though obviously the Chargers offense is better than the Seahawks offense, but I do expect the Seahawks offense to bounce back in week 2. And they're going to have to score a lot of points going against the Lions. The Lions offense is legit. So we're going to go DK Metcalf here. So we started this draft off Jamar Chase, Travis Etienne, DK Metcalf. So now we got our eyes on, we're going to want to get Joe Burrow for sure. The only other alternative to Joe Burrow would be if we can get Mark Andrews and Lamar for that Bengals Ravens game. Otherwise, we're going to want to go Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And then we could run it back with Zay Flowers. And then that just leaves us with having to make a decision at tight end. And that's where things get a little bit tricky. So we might actually be better off going Andrews and Lamar. Because who are we going at tight end? I mean, so Andrews just went off the board, so that answers that question. We could go Darren Waller. Go Waller. And we got Burrow at the end of the 6th last time, so I'm gonna count on being able to do that again. And we'll tee up. I mean, do we want to go all in on the Bengals and just go Higgins as well? I don't think so. I think I want to have a run back. So we'll tee up Zay Flowers as our run back. I mean, he was excellent in week 1. 45% target share. And I know with Andrews coming back, that's going to go down. So Waller went off the board. So that goes our plan at tight end. Do we want to go another Jag? I think there's going to be enough points in that game where we can go another Jag. Go Evan Ingram. All right, so let's lock in Zay Flowers. And then we just need to decide if we want to go Burrow now or Burrow later. And we can go Evan Ingram now. I think we go Ingram now because if we lose out on Burrow, we can always go Trevor Lawrence or Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go Ingram now. Lock in our tight end. So we got one more pick. We'll hope we should be able to get either Joe Burrow to stack with Jamar Chase or Lamar Jackson to stack with Zay Flowers. So Eckler is out. I got this question from Sammy. Eckler's out. I believe Aaron Jones' status is up in the air, so he's questionable. If anybody else in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong on that. He has not been ruled out, though. I believe he is questionable. But Eckler is officially out. As far as your start-sit question, Jamal Williams, Justice Hill, or Breece Hall. I'm easily going Breece Hall there. That dude looked fantastic. Fantastic in week 1. His first game back from that ACL, he had over 100 yards on his first 2 carries. I know his workload's still going to be a little bit limited. They're going to slowly ramp him up to a full workload. So Joe Burrow just going off the board here. So we're going to hopefully be able to go Lamar here. This guy has a quarterback already, so that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, Breece Hall looked fantastic, man. And even if he's only touching the ball 12 times in a game for the next few weeks, he can still give you an RB2 week. Absolutely. He's so explosive. It's incredible. That was his first game back from the ACL. He looked that explosive. And the Jets' offensive line was opening up run lanes for those running backs. All right, so we're going Lamar here. Joe Burrow went off the board 2 picks before our pick, which is fine. We had a plan for that. We have Zay Flowers. We're going to stack Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson. We were hoping to stack Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Didn't quite happen, but that's okay. Yeah, I think Breece Hall, I have him ranked well above Jamal Williams and Justice Hill. Though I do believe Justice Hill, with J.K. Dobbins out, Justice Hill is the Baltimore running back that I want. He's the one that I want out of that backfield right now. I definitely don't want Melvin Gordon. Definitely not Melvin Ingram. We don't want Melvin Gordon. And I'm not so sure that Gus Edwards has a lot left in the tank. He was never an explosive running back. He's kind of an in between the tackles plotter. And they were using Justice Hill down at the goal line last week. So the whole argument against Justice Hill, I think, for me, the only concern I would have is he going to get goal line work? And I think that was answered in week 1. He got it. He's the better pass catcher of the two. So he would. Oh, this is a start 2 question. Damn. All right, sorry, my bad. So are we going to go Justice Hill or Jamal Williams? I think I want to go Justice Hill. I'm going to go Justice Hill over Jamal Williams. I just like the Ravens offense better. I like the Ravens offense better than the Saints. So yeah, let's go Brees Hall. Easy for sure. No question. No doubt about that one. And we'll go Justice Hill over Jamal Williams. All right. So we wrapped up this team. Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Travis Etienne at running back. Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers at wide receiver, and Evan Ingram at tight end. So yeah, we got both Ingram and Travis Etienne from that Jacksonville offense, which I don't mind. I expect they're going to score a lot of points this week against the Chiefs. That's going to be a high scoring game. Could be the highest scoring game of the week. It should be one of them at least. And one of the other games that I think could be a candidate to be the highest scoring game of the week is Baltimore Cincinnati, which is why we wanted to attack that stack. It didn't quite work out exactly how we had it planned, but I'm really happy with Lamar and Zay Flowers as a stack with a beautiful run back with Jamar Chase. And then DK Metcalf, that's another game that could shoot out. I expect the Seahawks offense to wake up in week 2. They're going to have to because the Lions offense is legit. They're really, really good. So there could be a lot of points scored in that game as well. So I think this could be my favorite team out of the 3 teams that we drafted. Yeah, I think that's the show. We did 3 drafts. I don't think we had a home run on any of them, but I'm happy, satisfied with all 3 of them. And yeah, if you're not on Underdog, get in these drafts. Top of the screen here. Underdog Fantasy, promo code YardsPer. It's going to give you a $100 deposit match and a free mystery pick'em, which is literally a pick'em where it's like, I think last week it was Saquon Barkley was the pick'em that I got. Saquon Barkley, higher or lower, half a yard. It's just free money. You say higher. Obviously, he gets 1 yard, you win. They're giving you that for free. They're giving you free money on top of matching your initial deposit up to $100. Why would you pass that up? And then on top of that, they just introduced this week, they're giving away $100,000. $100,000, 10K to 10 people. All you got to do is play their pick'ems. There's a special pick'em. It's Tua Tagovailoa. Play the Tua Tagovailoa pick'em. You don't even have to win it. That's the crazy thing. All you got to do is play it. You don't even have to win it. You're going to be entered for a drawing for $10,000. There are 10 winners. Each of them are going to get $10,000. Get on Underdog Fantasy right now. I've never seen a platform give away so much money. Unbelievable. And then you can just get in these tournaments, draft these teams, and win more money. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. UnderdogFantasy.com. Download the Underdog Fantasy app. The app is beautiful. The website's beautiful. Platform is just fantastic. Use our promo code YardsPer. And yeah. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be able to make it for the usual start-sit show on Sunday morning this week. I'm hoping for it. I got a few plans in the morning. Should have time to do the show, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to promise it. But Yards Per Fantasy still has you covered for Sunday morning start-sit questions right here on the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube. The Coach Approach with Coach Bruce and Brett. They got you covered. Jump in there. They're going to go game by game by game, giving you their favorite starts and sits, and they'll be answering your questions in the live YouTube chat. So get in there. That'll be 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. They're on the West Coast, so it's 8:30 their time. They're getting up and they're going live. So join them for that. I will have it on while I'm doing the stuff I need to get done. I will be watching that show while they're going live. So. And you can just find my rankings at yardsperfantasy.com. And yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This was fun.